Run it back, nation. What is good? It is your boy DJ Sword, running back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. Algo gang, do your thing. Hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your notification bell on. Turn your notification bell on. And all that stuff. Thank you for coming through the playback stream last night. We hit 92 total live viewers last night on PlaybackTV. That is a new record for an app that is in beta, that is not even officially being promoted anywhere. 92 people is a huge number, so thank you for coming through. I appreciate each and every one of you. And last night's game was a headache, so let's talk about it, all right? I just posted my reaction compilation, by the way, so go check that out if you want to watch if you want my misery to be your enjoyment. Go ahead and watch that if you weren't in the stream last night. The Sixers lose to the Chicago Bulls in double overtime, 109-105. And look, from the start of this game, I knew it was going to be painful. This game was painful to watch. I mean, I would rather watch paint dry and the WNBA at the same time than to watch this game ever again. That was a joke. Nobody get offended by that. It's just a joke. They lose 109-105 in double overtime. From the jump of this game, I'm pretty sure both teams started out 5 for 18 in the first quarter. I mean, it was a brick fest, and it was like, oh my God, this game's going to be atrocious. What is happening here? It looked like a YMCA game most of the time. It looked like a pickup game at the park down the street. It was bad. It was very bad. The Sixers won 8 games in a row. They were 9-1 in the month of March, and they had a stinker last night. They had a stinker, and they lost to the Bulls 109-105 in double overtime. It was one of those games you just wanted it to be over. The fact that it went to overtime, and double overtime was just the basketball gods fucking with us. Like, seriously. Joel Embiid, he only had 11 points at halftime. He was struggling in the first half. The Chicago Bulls actually, I thought, played pretty damn good defense. They don't have a great record on the season. I do think since the addition of Patrick Beverley at the trade deadline, their defensive just philosophy and energy and everything, communication on the court, all of those things, is noticeably better. And that's the impact of Patrick Beverley on your basketball team. I would have loved for Patrick Beverley to end up in Philly, but he ended up in Chicago. But they do look better defensively, and they were playing good defense in the first half of this game. Flashing to Joel Embiid, double teams, triple teams, you know the drill. Joel kicking it out, and if nobody can make a damn shot when he kicks it out of a double or a triple team, you end up scoring, what do we have, 40 points at halftime. Joel only had 11 points at halftime. The second half, Joel Embiid said, okay, enough kicking it out to people that can't make shots. I'm going to take over now. So Joel scored 26 points in the second half, finished the game with 37. It ended up not being enough to overcome the Chicago Bulls last night. This is like the second game in a row where the officials kind of tried to take the game over in the third quarter. It was annoying. I don't like to complain about officials. I don't think this game ended the way it did because of the officials, because the Sixers are better than the Chicago Bulls, and if they didn't play like absolute shit like they did last night, if they played a little bit better than shit, they would have beat this Chicago Bulls team last night, but they played shit, so that's what happened. But the officials were atrocious in the game. There were so many bad calls on one end, and we weren't getting the calls on the other end. A double hack on James Harden that was clear as day, literally almost a tackle that doesn't get called. James is hurt. We're going to get into that in a second. But the calls were bad, and then this is the second game in a row where Joel Embiid got his 4th and 5th foul in the fourth quarter over the span of like 25 seconds, and to me, I'm not saying Joel Embiid deserves superstar calls or the NBA should call the game a certain way based on what players on the floor, but that is what they do. But if you're going to call the 4th and the 5th foul on a player, make it substantial. Make sure it matters. Make sure it's an obvious call. If it's a call that could either be called or be not called, if it's a call that is called and not called a lot of times, you can't call 4 and 5 on Joel Embiid for a call that goes uncalled most of every NBA game. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Again, it's like that holding call in the Super Bowl. Yes, technically in super slow-mo, it was holding, but that call goes uncalled all the time in every NFL game, and for you to call that holding call in the Super Bowl is fucking embarrassing as a product. That's what I'm saying about these calls. Joel gets his fourth foul on a touch foul on Zach LaVine. I mean, he had his forearm up a little bit, but the contact didn't really move LaVine. He kind of flopped a little bit. That was 4. And then he gets 5 on the other end on a block that he got all ball, little bit of wrist, but ball at the same time. Both of those calls were questionable, gave Joel 4 and 5, so then he had to continue to play the rest of the game without fouling, so he's letting people do wide-open layups. Now, one of the most amazing plays that Joel Embiid made last night, and it was on my compilation, go check that out, and I posted it on Instagram, Twitter, all over the place. You know the drill, at RunItBackPhilly on all social medias. One of the most amazing plays he made was 2 possessions in a row, one on Vucevic and one on another player. I don't remember if it was, I think it was LaVine, where he backed off because he had 5 fouls. He didn't want to foul out of the game. He wanted to make himself valuable and stay on the floor so that he could try to win the game for the 76ers. But the third one in a row, DeMar DeRozan drives in. The Bulls were clearly attacking Joel Embiid because he had 5 fouls. DeMar DeRozan drives in. Joel baits him. Backs off like he's not going to play defense because he has 5 fouls, makes DeMar DeRozan think that he has a wide-open layup, and then he says, psych, nah, and blocks the damn shot on the other side of the rim. I mean, Joel Embiid's basketball IQ is out of this world, and he's made amazing blocks like that throughout his career. One that I remember was in the playoffs against the Boston Celtics, I think. Fourth quarter close game, and Kyrie Irving drives in, and Joel somehow didn't fall on a pump fake, jumped around Kyrie and blocked the shot from the back. I mean, he's just, when it comes to blocking shots and defense, when he really wants to defend, when he's going 100% and not conserving his energy, he is one of the greatest defending centers that I've ever seen. His body control for his size is incredible. His ball tracking ability, blocking shots without fouling, all that stuff. Joel Embiid is elite. He should have multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards, but you know how the media is with Joel Embiid. But let's move on. Joel finishes with 37-16, 5 turnovers, 3 blocks, and 6 fouls. He did foul out in the first overtime. Another foul that they called where he reached in. Don't know if it was like that hard of a foul for you to call the 6th foul, but it is what it is. NBA officials are a fucking joke. Tyrese Maxey finished the game with 22, 5, and 6. You know, 22 is nice for Tyrese Maxey, but at the end of the game, when Joel Embiid was fouled out, James Harden was absolutely dogging it. I mean, he looked like the caboose on the slowest train in the world. We needed somebody to step up. Tyrese Maxey was trying to be that somebody. He was just coming up short. He airballed a 3 on one side of the floor, shanked another one on the left side for a game winner. It just, you know, we just couldn't get it going last night. But I applaud the effort from Tyrese Maxey. He did hit a huge 3. Don't remember if it was at the end of the 4th or in overtime, but there was one at the top of the key when we were down by 3 out of a timeout that looked like it was drawn up for Maxey to shoot it from 30 feet. Damian Lillard style, and he nailed it. So I love Tyrese Maxey last night. Again, just came up short a couple times, but love the effort. James Harden last night. Oh my God. Where do we start with James Harden last night? I don't know if he was like running a charity 10K right before the game, or if his Bentley broke down and he had to run to the arena, or if he was partying all night with his friend DeMar DeRozan. James Harden looked absolutely tired. James Harden looked like I looked last Sunday because I drank whiskey on Saturday night. You know what I mean? And by the way, I quit drinking. I haven't had a drop of alcohol for 9 days now. Thank you very much, because my hangovers are just atrocious. And I feel after I drink alcohol the way that James Harden looked on the court last night. I don't want that to happen to me, so I quit drinking. I'm going to need James Harden to probably do the same thing. That's okay. I don't know if he drinks. I'm just saying. I'm just joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. But James Harden was absolutely atrocious, horrendous, abysmal, pathetic, embarrassing. I mean, it was so bad last night. And I'm not that mad about it. James has had a great season this season. He's on MVP lists because of his facilitating. He's shooting 40% from threes, averaging 23 points, 12 assists. I mean, he's having an incredible season as a point guard. Last night was just an absolutely terrible game for him. So it's not like I'm sitting up here trashing James Harden. But let's just talk about how bad it actually was. Actually, go ahead. Somebody Google it and tell me if this is James Harden's worst game of all time, because it might be. He finishes a game in 46 minutes with 5 points on 2 for 14 from the floor, 0 for 6 from 3, 7 rebounds, 12 assists, 5 turnovers, a steal, a block, and 2 fouls. But he just couldn't get anything going. He had no elevation on his shot. He had no elevation on his layups. He was driving, trying to use his body like he does, but he couldn't get off the floor. Fourth quarter or overtime, all blurred to me, of course, but James Harden had a drive to try to win the game. I think it was the end of regulation. It was the end of regulation. No, it was the end of overtime. The end of regulation was a DeMar DeRozan. No, it was the end of regulation. One night, I want to say it was tied 109 to 109. No, it was tied 99 to 99. It finished 109 to 105. It was tied 99 to 99. James Harden drives in to give us a bucket, gets blocked at the rim by Derrick Jones Jr., and when you saw the replay, I mean, I swear to God, James Harden's shoe came this far off the floor. He was jumping last night as high as George Niang on his best day, and that's not good. And then that ball got kicked out to Tobias Harris, who drove and missed a shot. No, that was the end of double overtime. I don't fucking remember. Either way, the game was terrible. Throw it in the trash. It was atrocious. Tobias Harris, 14.6 for 11 from the field, 9 rebounds. Tobias Harris is what he is. He's a player. I know every single YouTube video, there's people in the comments telling me to stop trashing Tobias Harris. I don't think Tobias Harris sucks as a basketball player. I think Tobias Harris is a terrible fit on this team and does not really benefit this team whatsoever. And I think that if the Sixers do fall short this year, I think they have a chance. But if they do fall short this year, they will rid Tobias Harris's contract in the offseason. They will retool a little bit, and they will be a championship favorite next season. It is what it is, man. Call it what you want. DeAnthony Melton in this game was amazing. Amazing. I didn't know he had 12 three-point attempts. Holy shit. DeAnthony Melton finished the game with 19 points off the bench, 5 for 12 from three-point range. I love 12 three-point attempts for DeAnthony Melton. There was a stretch where he hit 3 in a row. He had 9 points in 3 possessions in a row. He hit one on the right side on a pull-up, on a transition. No play run, no nothing. Just transition, pull money, gang. Let's go. Bang, bang. Mr. Do something. Mr. Do everything. D. Mel. Can you do something for me? Then on the other side, he hits another one. Then another one. Maxey kicks it back to him. He hits another one. He was on fire, and I love the fact that he shoots 12 three-pointers in a game. DeAnthony Melton has a green light 24/7. No fear in that kid's mind whatsoever, period, ever. He could miss 5 in a row. If he's open again, he's shooting it again. I love that. Shooters, shoot. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. 5 for 12. 6 rebounds. 4 steals. And a block. What a pickup for Daryl Morey. I mean, what an incredible pickup for Daryl Morey. To get Anthony Melton with a first-round pick, whatever. We suck at drafting anyway. Who gives a shit about a late-round, first-round pick? Somebody was in my comments yesterday saying this team is the same as it was last year except for the addition of a couple players like DeAnthony Melton. Well, then it's not the same, is it? Because now you have a two-way guard coming off the bench who can give you 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 steals. And guess what we had last year? Not that. Come on, bro. It's the same, but it's different. But it's kind of the same, but it's kind of different. Knock it off. I think that's all I have to say. Jalen McDaniels played 8 minutes, had a goose egg. I mean, he's been injured. He came back from the hip injury. Hopefully, he gets a little bit of a game together and can contribute to this team. We don't want to see that Matisse Thybulle trade go down as a waste. I do think Jalen McDaniels has some things that he can bring to this team. We just got to see if he can get on a roll moving forward. I I think that's all I have to say about this game. Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad. I can't even believe I just talked for 15 minutes about it. Let's move on. Thank you for coming through the playback chat, playback stream. It was lit. We had 92 people. That's a new record. We're about to break 100. Playback.tv/runningbackphilly. We watch every Sixers game. We watch other NBA games. It is a blast. It is the Twitch of sports streaming. If you're not there now, you will be soon. And that's all I got to say about it. Y'all hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, turn your notification bell on, all those things. Sixers losing double overtime to the damn Chicago Bulls. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.